all the indicators of trust in government, interpersonal trust go up as this institution has been implemented. So I'd be curious to know whether participatory budgeting is being tried out in different regions of India. I honestly don't know. And then the other thing that I would just throw out there that I would love to just hear your opinion on are the gender inequalities that exist in India. And I know recently, in terms of current events, there was a big controversy in India about the gender quota law that was passed. And so I'd love to just hear your opinion about it, whether you think that gender quotas are a legitimate means to addressing gender inequalities in political representation, or whether you think that it's a mirage kind of solution and that more profound sorts of transformations are necessary. That's all I'll say.
Okay. I'll briefly respond to two issues on this participatory budget. Unfortunately, where local governments have been given constitutional sanction about 15, 16 years ago, somewhat belatedly, we created overstructured, underpowered local governments. In fact, the Indian constitutional provisions dealing with local governments, enacted in 1990-94, they run into 7,700 words, roughly. The whole of American Constitution, with all the amendments up to date, runs into 7,400 words. So a lot of verbiage without real empowerment. Therefore, they exist, but really the structures without any functional relationship in a large measure. Therefore, nothing significant has happened in this respect, but certainly we should look at Brazil example very closely. While some of us have faint acquaintance, we don't know such. But I agree with you. Brazil is another exciting country which is trying to emerge from. Then I suppose the historical circumstances are much longer. History of Marxism, ups and downs, liberty being preserved and so on and so forth. The second is about gender issues. Obviously, societally, India, like many other societies, have always a gender gap. The missing girl children is a common theme. Whether the economist track what happened to 100 million girl babies. India certainly is one of the biggest countries in those 100 million babies. But at the same time, there is no overt discrimination in society against women once they overcome the initial barrier of survival. In fact, in education, healthcare, in terms of economy today, happily, particularly from the middle classes of the population, the girl children and the women are doing much better in their respect. Of course, obviously, there are serious problems with women, violence against women, and so on and so forth. But if you see the bigger picture, I think it's something positive. Politically, the good news is that women have never been discriminated by the people. It's just that there are not enough women participants, and they're not probably encouraged by the political parties. And you know only too well that the real platforms of political action are parties. Non-party political action is exceedingly difficult, if not impossible. And the parties, for whatever reasons, they did not find enough takers and did not want to encourage them. But wherever the women came up, for whatever reason, the evidence is that the people have not discriminated against them. So there's no real class system. Once the woman is determined enough, women are not discriminated against. In fact, the evidence is to the contrary. If you take the parliamentary elections in India since 1952, on an average, the women political party candidates, they scored 5 to 7% higher voting percentages. They scored 5 to 7% higher rate of success in elections than 25% of the male candidates of political parties got elected on an average. 33% of women candidates got elected. But the number of women in the fray is limited. That's where the problem is. Therefore, it's really more about political participation rather than gender discrimination by the electorate. And our politicians, we always, unerringly Indian politicians, they come up with the wrong solution. They may diagnose the symptoms of the problem rightly, not even the problem. But we come up with oftentimes the wrong solution. Therefore, our answer is a quota with rotation, which has serious consequences, deleterious in terms of leadership mobility. After all, if I don't have the capacity to nurture the constituency and contest for office the next time, the chances are that I don't care. And if each time 2/3 of the candidates are removed from office by the draw of lots, because 1/3 women, those seats now become general, therefore the chances are that women will not have much of a chance. and one-third of the men have to vacate because now they become women's constituencies. It's an absurd situation. Everybody recognizes it, but then with our notions of political correctness, we make the appropriate noises. The law has not been enacted yet. And the upper house has approved it. The lower house, now they are having, I think, more than second thoughts. They recognize that the government will be laying that government if this goes through. And in any case, the states also have approved. The parties are determined, the parties have enough power to make it happen, but there's a political price to pay. So I don't know if the company is formed. A better model will be party quotas. Don't make it a constituency quota. It's mandatory for you to have one candidate there. But you say one-third of the party candidates shall be. Where you choose them based on political circumstances. It becomes much more competitive, more natural political parties. So there are models. Proportional representation, of course, is the best circumstances. But again, as I said, when there's an option A and option B, an elegant and inelegant option, we seem to always favor the inelegant option. Let's go.
Questions and also on the floor? DJ.
So I'm just looking at this corruption, anti-corruption pamphlet. I definitely going to go there, petition, sign the petition for you. I'm happy to do that. But I'm thinking about a out-of-box solution rather than actually do the traditional way of fixing the problem. Like, why don't we make corruption an official, make it official, in the sense, who wants to give corruption? Let them as a registered corporate people. They want to give corruption, so you want to pay something, extra service fee to get things done fast. Something like that, maybe a better solution rather than actually stopping this, because it's a cultural problem, it institutionalized in the society. Right? It's not really a small thing to fix. It's there in India, it's there everywhere in the world. So,
I couldn't get your name.
Vijay.
I will quickly respond to this. It's a good question. Mr. Baum also talked about the cultural argument. I'm not a great fan of that. Obviously, cultures do vary. Obviously, the ethos of a civilization, the level at which you are, these things do vary. But within reasonable limits, I think this is overstated. It's absurd to think that India is radically different from the United States of Britain. 130 years ago, the days of Gladstone before he came to power in 1868, things in Britain were horrendous. So I'm sure culturally they said, no, Britain is not fit for democracy. But 100 years later, Britain is incredibly fit for democracy. So what happened to change the culture in 100 years? Culture is nothing but sustained experience. We overstate this cultural argument. So I don't believe that Indians are culturally more prone to corruption than, say, Americans or British. It's all about incentives. It's all about institutions in the large measure. 15 years ago, 14 years ago, I had to ring up a then member of parliament who later became a chief minister, and plead with him to get me a telephone connection to start Lok Sabha movement. I didn't get it from him, but I had to ask him. Today, I don't have to ask him. Things have improved dramatically. So, if you're talking about demand-supply gap and therefore speed money in order to get a better supply, and therefore money becoming a democratic determinant of who gets first, I have no serious quarrel. You already have it, for instance, in Indian train reservations, which are public sector undertaking in India. You have something called Tatkal, but it is usually speed, it's a speed money. So if you want out of term, a certain quota is allotted, and then you get it by paying a much larger sum. So it works. But more important, competition and choice. It does work. Airlines, for instance, like in the United States, earlier I used to be amazed, but now in India it's happening too. You book in advance, you get much cheaper, you come closer to date, and then which cost. So in a way it's operating. But then demand-supply issue is there. But when the incentive is to actually make money out of politics or public office, and there is no accountability, mere legitimizing it by speed money doesn't help. It's an accountability issue. It's using public office for private gain issue. It's again not culture. I mean, typically every society culturally tends to abuse power. As Lord Acton said it's not an Indian prerogative to abuse power. It's also an American prerogative. You look at what Lincoln said, how people are abusing power, everybody asking for government jobs, and all kinds of things in those days. But things have changed dramatically. Let's not overstate the culture issue. Therefore, it has a validity at this point. Wherever transparency and technology, competition and choice come in, wherever there's a demand-supply gap, artificial or real, we certainly can apply the economic principles. But once those issues are addressed, it is other things like transparency, local governance, whether there is a greater link between taxes and services and authority and accountability, and accountability systems and a strong punitive action and swift and speedy action whenever there is corruption. So it's not one or the other. You have to link many things together.
Come to you. This is one of the questions I wanted to, I always ask myself. I don't know about too much about the past of India, but in the current scenario, we are having a successful movie star born out of a successful yesteryear movie star. A successful politician born out of a successful yesteryear politician. But I don't remember coming across a successful visionary born through another yesteryear successful visionary. Is it due to the generation gap?